As cash-strapped Pakistan scrambles to try and make ends meet, its elite seem pretty busy hogging real estate in Dubai.
Glittering skyscrapers, opulent islands, a playground for the rich and famous. This is the Dubai you know. But beneath the facade of luxury and extravagance lies a hidden reality, a darker side they desperately try to conceal. Join us as we venture beyond the shimmering lights and unveil the secrets buried beneath the sand. Exploitation, oppression, and a city built on the backs of the forgotten. Get ready to witness the Dubai they don't want you to see, the Dubai they don't want you to know. Dubai, a city of extreme contrasts. Dubai is a city that often feels like a dream brought to life, with its glittering skyscrapers, world-renowned shopping malls, and an abundance of luxurious experiences. The city has become synonymous with wealth and opulence, drawing visitors from all over the globe who are eager to witness its futuristic architecture and vibrant lifestyle. From the towering Burj Khalifa to the man-made Palm Islands, Dubai's landscape is a symbol of modernity and cutting-edge innovation. The city's reputation as a global business and tourism hub has only added to its allure, making it one of the most desirable destinations in the world. Yet, beneath the glittering facade lies another reality, one that few outside its borders ever see. The part of Dubai that is not present in the glossy travel brochures or Instagram posts has nothing to do with glitz and luxury. In stark contrast to that enjoyed by the tourists and the elite classes, there are thousands of migrant workers staying in conditions very far from being glamorous. Some of these migrants, who play a major role in shaping and restoring the grand architecture of the city, live their lives in very overcrowded labor camps, spread across a place like Sonapur in constant struggle with survival itself. The gap between the two worlds in Dubai is massive. Some are living in the best of accommodations, enjoying five-star dining, and spending their time lounging by artificial beaches, while others toil under conditions that make them feel they're not making ends meet to survive. The dream of a better life for many of these workers has been reduced to a nightmare and a suffocating reality. Sonapur is a name that most visitors have hardly heard of. It tells the untold story of Dubai, where sweat and sacrifice have been the real cost of wealth and beauty. This contrast between luxury and hardship is reflective of the city's development as well as the wider social and economic divisions that exist in Dubai. The few enjoying prosperity and wealth are built upon the labor of the many, but their lives, making all this possible, remain shrouded in the shadows of this glittering city. Dubai's extreme contrasts serve as a reminder that behind the city's breathtaking skyline lies a more complicated and often darker side of the modern world. You won't believe how it all began, the Dubai you see today. From fishing village to global powerhouse. Dubai's transformation from a small fishing village to a global powerhouse is one of the most remarkable success stories of modern times. In the early 20th century, Dubai was a modest settlement focused on fishing and pearl diving, its economy relying heavily on the sea. The local port played a crucial role in regional trade, making it an important center for merchants and traders. Despite its small size, the strategic location of Dubai along the Persian Gulf provided it with a significant advantage, connecting the Arabian Peninsula with the broader Middle East, Europe, Asia, and Africa. 1966, however, marks the turning point for Dubai when oil was discovered in fields nearby, changing the fortunes of the city within just a few years and embarking it upon a pathway of assertive modernization and urbanization. The ruling Al Maktoum family, in particular, Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum, knew the oil revenues could not be a running view. In other words, they reinvested the available resources of the city into infrastructure projects. By the 1970s, Dubai had laid the groundwork for what would become one of the latest advanced-level cities to exist. As the oil boom continued, the focus began to close in, diversification, and sustainability. With its investments aimed at commerce, tourism, finance, and real estate, it evolved into a business hub for the region. The introduction of free zones plus business-friendly, progressive laws attracted big business at international levels and reduced oil dependence in new economic sectors. Aiming to be a worldwide leader in trade and innovation, Dubai began the construction of the iconic skyscrapers and luxury hotels that define its skyline today, becoming a magnet for wealth, talent, and foreign investment. Today, Dubai stands as a global emblem of progress, boasting one of the highest GDPs worldwide and a thriving economy that continues to grow across various sectors. The city's success reflects the foresight and determination of its leaders, who embrace change and innovation while honoring the cultural heritage of the region. Dubai's evolution from a fishing village to a global powerhouse illustrates the impact of strategic investment, visionary leadership, and the relentless pursuit of reinvention in an ever-evolving world. Dubai's iconic landscape and growth. Dubai's iconic landscape is a testament to the city's rapid growth and commitment to redefining modern architecture. At the heart of this transformation stands the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, which rises majestically above the city's skyline. Its sleek, futuristic design is a symbol of Dubai's ambition and a focal point for global attention. Alongside this towering structure, Dubai is home to numerous other architectural marvels, including the Palm Jumeirah, a man-made island shaped like a palm tree, and the Burj Al Arab, an ultra-luxurious hotel that has become synonymous with opulence. These landmarks not only define Dubai's skyline, but also set a global standard for innovation and luxury. Despite its modern look and feel, Dubai is bordered on almost all sides by some of the most extreme natural environments to be found on our Earth. The city's found in the center of the Arabian Desert, an oceanic area of sand stretching endlessly in every direction imaginable. This desert environment is harsh because it has extreme temperatures, meager water supplies, and unhospitable living conditions. Nevertheless, Dubai has been able to overcome these natural obstacles by engineering feats that have made what was once an arid region a thriving metropolis. The city's ability to adapt and grow in this unforgiving climate has a testament to its resilience and the leadership that is forward-thinking. The neoliberal might fade out. After all, Dubai flourished between a fast-growing city centre and alluring stretches of desert. The skyline brims with countless skyscrapers and lavish hotels, while great gulfs of vacant desert lie a stone's throw from the horizon. This contrast stresses the remarkable analogy with which modernity coexists against the backdrop of strong natural forces that render Dubai exceedingly unique. Moreover, the adoption of outdoor spaces, such as sprawling parks and artificial lakes in the plan, shows how deserts have contributed to city building and life, where ordinary people and the tourists alike can commune with nature in the rat race that has engulfed Dubai. The growth of Dubai can be seen not only in its urban landscape, but also in its population and economy. From a modest 1 million in 2004, it has grown to over 3 million today. The construction and development of city facilities are underway, and many are about to be built. Still, issues from overcrowding, resource management, and environmental harmony have increased pressure on the city now, collecting effects of rapid changes more than ever. Nevertheless, Dubai's quick adaptability and reinvention have kept it sustainable as a global city for quite some time now. Population of Dubai. Dubai's population is one of the most diverse in the world, with over 90% of its residents being expatriates. The city is a melting pot of cultures, languages, and traditions, as people from all corners of the globe flock to Dubai for work, business, and tourism. Workers from countries such as India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and the Philippines make up the majority of the city's workforce, particularly in construction and service industries. This influx of foreign labor has helped shape Dubai into the cosmopolitan city it is today, with a unique blend of influences from across the globe. A high percentage of foreign nationals constitutes both the strength and the weakness of the city. With the diverse population of Dubai, there is a lot of cultural experience, and this also brings a particular set of social and economic dynamics. Different countries' expatriates bring their own culture, food, and other customs, making the city a cultural hub. However, this diversity can also lead to a sense of division, as expatriates often find themselves segregated into different sectors based on their work and nationality. Despite these challenges, Dubai's population continues to grow rapidly as people continue to seek opportunities in one of the world's most prosperous cities. Islam is the main religion. Its influence is found in cultural architecture, lifestyle patterns, and otherwise in the city. In terms of the city's local population, Emirati is a majority, but a small minority in the total population. Even if big groups of Hindus, Christians, and other major religions have a presence in the city. Daily timings are highly affected by Islamic practices, like daily prayers, fasting in Ramadan, and more. The impressions of cosmopolitanism with an Islamic essence provide the vanishing identity of Dubai. The mutual contradictions between Islamic traditions, luxury, and worldwide cultures keep Dubai classy, combining very modernistic aspirations with a deep-seated culture and religious background. Now, it's quite surprising that, with its foreign majority, Dubai has always endeavored to encourage a robust sense of community and national identity. The UAE government has gone the extra mile to make sure Emirati culture plays an important role in the future. The Arabic language gets its promotion, and traditions are preserved with national pride when it comes to National Day, and equally for other major events like the Dubai Expo. While the migrant community in Dubai makes the labor pool of the city, this Emirati populace forms the heart of its administration, and is the cultural fountain from which flows the rich tradition, rendering a solid blend of modernism with tradition. The hidden reality. Behind Dubai's glittering image lies a hidden reality that few see but many live. While the city is known for its towering skyscrapers, extravagant shopping malls, and luxurious lifestyles, there exists a stark contrast just beyond the bright lights and lavish facades. This hidden side is where the daily struggle for survival takes place, away from the glitzy tourist attractions and upscale neighborhoods. Sonapur, a migrant worker district on the outskirts of the city, is one such place where the dream of a better life quickly turns into a harsh reality. It is here, in overcrowded and dilapidated conditions, that thousands of workers live, their efforts building the luxury Dubai is known for, yet enduring lives far from the luxury and comfort enjoyed by the city's elite. Sonapur is not just an underdeveloped area, it represents a deep societal divide. The workers who live there, mostly from South Asia and other parts of the world, are the backbone of Dubai's construction and service industries. However, they live in cramped quarters, often sharing small, windowless rooms with dozens of other men. The conditions are dismal, with minimal ventilation, extreme heat, and lack of access to basic amenities such as clean water and proper sanitation. Though they work long hours in these conditions, most Sonapur workers earn just enough to send home to their families, only to see their dreams for a better life crushed as they remain trapped in this vicious cycle of poverty. Empty promises lure these workers into a false vision with respect to Dubai. Recruitment agencies in countries like India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh lure them, saying that wages should target a respectable amount of remuneration, provision for housing, medical care, and so on. But when they arrive in Dubai, a good number of workers have found that their passports have been snatched by their employers, and they were sent off without a second thought to labor camps, where their lives would once again become isolated from the pristine outside world. Having had little or no control over their situations, many are forced to accept jobs at wages only barely sufficient for them to survive. The workers' dreams of prosperity dim in disillusionment when they confront a painful reality that keeps them locked in a system toiling with little in return. The government of Dubai has made attempts to improve the infrastructure and address some of the migrant labor challenges, but much of that system remains broken. While the city flourishes, workers continue to live in slums and labor camps in Sonapur and many other areas. The horizontal riches of Dubai, from fancy hotels to world-class commercial shopping centers, hide the nasty truth of human sacrifices in building up the city. As tourists and investors admire all the progress, the very lives of those who build the city lie beneath the surface of everyday acknowledgement. This becomes a very vicious reminder of the high price that goes with development, a price so many willingly gloss over while wrapped up in the external glory of the state of Dubai. If you thought that was hard to believe, the next chapter uncovers the dark reality. How workers are exploited. The exploitation of workers in Dubai is a systemic issue that has persisted for years, fueled by a combination of corrupt recruitment practices and labor laws that heavily favor employers over migrant workers. Many workers arrive in Dubai under the promise of better opportunities, offered jobs that seem to promise decent pay and living conditions. However, once they arrive, the reality is far from what was promised. Recruitment agencies in workers' home countries often deceive them, promising high salaries, housing, food, and medical benefits, only for these promises to evaporate once they reach Dubai. Instead of the decent lives they were promised, they find themselves thrust into grueling work with few rights or protections. The most common method of exploitation includes confiscation of workers' passports. Once the migrant worker sets foot on Dubai shores, employers take his passport, thereby entrapping him into the country. As there is no legal procedure available for him to get out of the country or switch employers without having his passport, the entire process makes a migrant vulnerable to this type of exploitation. This is a manipulation tactic that puts workers in very vulnerable positions, unable to leave poor working conditions or from abusive treatment. With no freedom to move, many workers are forced into substandard accommodations and long hours, often for wages too low to cover their simple needs. Most of the labor camps have overcrowded conditions in which hundreds of workers reside without any proper maintenance. In these camps, many workers are crammed into small rooms, many times sharing with more than 10 other people and under less than hygienic conditions. There exist no sanitation facilities, open ventilation, and the area is surrounded by dirty, stagnant water. Sickness from extreme heat, with no respite, is common among them. Many working hours of these laborers are very long, with little rest or relaxation time for them, leaving some no option but to forego time with loved ones back home during any designated vacations. Worse still, the sick or injured have no channel of proper medical treatment. Instead, they suffer strangely for their own, and, as the cases may be, their families' expenses. Most of them hardly earn enough to sustain themselves. Many of these workers are already deep in debt in order to pay for their trip to Dubai, while such living in the city is costly, and they find the rent on a small room surpasses even most workers' incomes. Among them are many sharing sleeping sitting room, no room, or very little for personal privacy in many instances. People in any of the richest cities of the world continue to survive below the poverty line since their constant exploitation leaves them hopeless about a rise in their lives. This mixed-up vein will continue to run because the workers remain ensnared at Dubai's underbelly, while the opulence and success of the city are on display. Economic hardships for migrant workers. Migrant workers in Dubai face immense economic hardships, despite being the backbone of the city's rapid growth and development. Many workers are promised attractive salaries and living conditions before they arrive in Dubai. But once they are in the city, the reality is harsh. A cleaner, for example, might earn only 800 dirhams per month, approximately $200, a salary that seems acceptable when compared to the minimum wage in their home countries. However, when considering the high cost of living in Dubai, this amount is far from enough to cover even the basic expenses. Rent, food, transportation, and other essentials are significantly more expensive, leaving workers struggling to make ends meet. For many migrant workers, survival means living with several other people in a space, often in overcrowded small rooms. Labor camps, with poor conditions and little space, make living with minimal privacy a routine that workers have to endure long hours without time off. These shared accommodations, in the name of saving some money, leave workers with no personal space, and the conditions are far from what many would expect in a wealthy, modern city. Despite the cramped living arrangements, workers send the majority of their wages back to their families in their home countries, sacrificing their own well-being in hopes of providing a better life for their loved ones. Yet another crippling burden on workers is housing cost. A mere studio apartment ranges from 1,500 dirhams to 4,000 a month, a sum that is completely out of their market. The high cost of living nudges them toward making such terrible choices just to have a roof over their heads. Rent is simply one of a host of costs that a worker has to contend with, alongside food, clothing, and transportation, taking up huge portions of each month's salary. These economic pressures create a sense of insecurity so overwhelming that workers cannot save up for their future and cannot improve their present standard of living. Most of these economic hardships have created a cycle of poverty for the workers. Even though they put in long hours, nobody can make a living off that. Therefore, such a livelihood does not allow for even a better future for themselves or their families, but only that of the debt trap they have borrowed money to reach Dubai in the first place. The very promise of prosperity that lured them into the city quickly turned into a quest for basic survival. And although those workers indeed made turns contributing to the economy of Dubai, they were no better than perfectly poor back at home. The economic disparity that separates these workers from the wealthy elite clearly reveals the ingrained inequality underlying the aura of Dubai's sparkling success. Inhumane conditions in labor camps. The conditions in Dubai's labor camps are among the most inhumane aspects of the city's rapid growth, starkly contrasting with the opulence that defines the city's skyline. In these camps, thousands of migrant workers live in overcrowded, unsanitary conditions with minimal access to basic amenities. Workers are often crammed into small, windowless rooms, sharing limited space with multiple others. These cramped quarters, sometimes accommodating up to 15 people in a room no larger than 10 square meters, offer little room for privacy or comfort. The extreme heat, with temperatures often reaching unbearable levels, makes these living conditions even more difficult, as air conditioning and proper ventilation are rarely available. Sanitary conditions in labor camps are equally dire. The communal bathrooms and kitchens are. Sanitary conditions in labor camps are equally deplorable. The communal bathrooms and kitchens are overcrowded, poorly maintained, and lack basic hygiene standards. With many workers using shared toilets and showers that are often in disrepair, maintaining personal hygiene becomes a constant struggle. For many, the solution is to use a bucket for washing, as clean, running water is not always available. The lack of proper sanitation in these overcrowded spaces is a serious health risk, causing the spread of diseases and infections. The workers spend long hours working in grueling conditions, but get little respite when they return to these poorly equipped camps. Besides the aforementioned discomforts of overcrowding and poor sanitation, labor camps are also deficient in services that could help keep the workforce healthy. The living spaces are poorly constructed and have faulty electrical and plumbing systems, a huge disadvantage for an individual wishing to keep fit. The workers of such places are accustomed to cosseting them with minimum repairs and maintenance, as many of them are undertaken without inspection. The lack of accountability continues to ensure that the living standards of the camps decline ever further, as frequent breakdowns in plumbing, ventilation, and electricity go unattended for a long period of time. The psychological pressure from such conditions is enormous. To add to this, many a worker is also separated from his family and ekes out a living with a meager wage. Hopelessness and despair are the emotions mostly felt by those laborers who, on one hand, work for long hours, only to find their days further turned into the torturous and dehumanizing treatment in the labor camp, leaving them little time for rest or recovery. Dreams of a better life in Dubai often turn for most of these men into a cruel routine with no way out. Through the weight of psychological and mental pressure, compounded by physical hardships, many find themselves ambushed into a barely lived hell-existent reality that cannot be further divorced from a glittery image of Dubai. Debt and despair. Debt and despair are an unfortunate reality for many migrant workers in Dubai, who arrive in the city with dreams of a better life, but find themselves trapped in a cycle of financial struggle. Many workers borrow large sums of money from lenders or family members to pay for the expenses associated with their journey to Dubai. Recruitment agencies often charge exorbitant fees to workers in their home countries, and by the time they arrive, they are already in debt. This initial financial burden sets the stage for years of hardship, as workers are forced to repay their debts while living on minimal wages. The debt they carry is often a constant weight on their shoulders, making it difficult for them to ever break free from financial strain. High cost of living in Dubai has further added pressure to the financial burden these workers are facing. Wages, which are in no way adequate, do not allow them to save a single penny or better their conditions of living. The cost of even the most basic accommodation is eating away at their meager earnings, and food, transportation, and other needs only add to the load. As a result, many workers have no other option but to share rooms with multiple people in overcrowded labor camps, where space is limited and privacy is non-existent. Despite working long hours, their earnings barely cover their basic needs, leaving little room for any meaningful financial progress. Despair seeps in as most of the workers discover their dreams of prosperity slipping farther away. Indeed, it seems hopeless ever to improve their economic condition, and the mental and emotional toll this exacted can be devastating. Workers live in constant anxiety, knowing that they are caught in a web of debt from which one hardly breaks loose. This living predicament and low-wage zones bring them to an endpoint of hopelessness, a decrepit world that could not keep promises when the deal was made. The hopelessness arises from isolation, since they have been decoupled from their families for a long time and, as a result, have fallen out of touch with everything going on in the world. Many workers descend further into debt and below the poverty line. Some find themselves in situations bordering on exploitation, as their passports remain in the hands of employers unwilling to pay them. The legal protections for migrant workers scarcely exist, affecting their ability to call for help or to change their life situation. With time, the bright horizon promised faded away as debt, battery, and despair descended down. Leaving Dubai was, for numerous, not an option. They could not afford to return home, as their passports were often under strict supervision of their employers, and thus were left with no real options other than simply weathering their debt and other financial strains under a punitive exploiting system wherein there was simply no hope of getting off. Ready for the final shock? The last truth will change everything you thought you knew. Dubai's hidden cost. Dubai's hidden cost is not immediately visible to tourists or investors drawn by the city's glitzy skyscrapers, luxury shopping malls, and extravagant lifestyle. Beneath the surface of its opulent image lies the immense human cost of the city's growth and prosperity. This cost is paid by the thousands of migrant workers who contribute to Dubai's construction boom, service industries, and infrastructure projects. While the city shines with wealth and modernity, the reality for these workers is a daily struggle for survival, as they endure overcrowded labor camps, long working hours, and wages that barely cover the high cost of living. The wealth enjoyed by a select few in Dubai is built on the sweat and sacrifice of these workers, many of whom are trapped in a cycle of exploitation and poverty. The labor market in Dubai is designed to sustain this gap. They attract the worker to the city, promising them good pay and better living conditions. But once here, they hardly ever see any of those promises come true. The employers keep their passports and prevent the workers from leaving or changing jobs. With little to no legal rights, and not even the ability to leave, workers in labor camps such as Sonapur are isolated. The living conditions are not good, and their day-to-day life is all about hardship. The system ensures that such workers get stuck in these roles with little chance to improve their condition, despite working tirelessly to construct the skyline of the city. The economic model built around migrant labor has always been a two-edged sword for Dubai. While the city's growth has thrived through time, the increase leads to a rise in natural resources such as water and food, which become tougher to sustain in a terrain prone to desertification. Rapid shrinkage of once fertile land had left the emirate heavily dependent upon imports to cater for its mushrooming population. At the same time, it is felt that fast-paced urbanization has brought to bear environmental pressure, converting huge expanses of desert into sprawling developments, and thereby accelerating the process of desertification. The decaying agricultural land and the flagging cost of crucial resources serve to challenge the otherwise veiled cost of such meteoric rise of Dubai. As tourists and investors look in awe at the glitzy exterior of Dubai, the lives of the migrants who built this city are invisible. For them, a promise of prosperity from Dubai often turns into a harsh nightmare in which they are made to live under subhuman circumstances with scant hope for a change. Exposed within this garb of development and wealth are dire inequalities. The hidden cost of Dubai is paid for by those who bear great significance to this success, yet not often acknowledged for their role towards it. It presents a stark contrast, for it reminds us of the costs involved with which the sparkle of the city must be earned. If you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on more hidden truths. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. And if you're ready for more, check out the next video on the screen now. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.